Lesson 1C for the foundations. This lesson is about finding distance and midpoint of a segment that's on a number line. Okay, this should be fairly straightforward. You've had this kind of stuff before. On the number line, we have the points that are listed there and then the coordinates below. So what we want to do is find the distance between 2 points, whereas this the length of that segment, and using those as the endpoints. Basically using these coordinates as the endpoints to help us find distance and help us find midpoint. Okay? So honestly, one way is just to count. Okay? So if I want to know how long QR is, I can just count the length or the distance between those, but make sure you are counting the spaces, not the lines, the spaces between those. So by counting, I get QR equals 3. Okay? I can also do it if my number line is more complicated or I need to figure out something else. I can also use this little formula. If I want to find how far it is from P to Q on this number line, x sub 1 represents that coordinate, x sub 2 represents that coordinate. In order to find the distance between those, all I have to do is subtract the 2, and it does not matter which one goes first, either x sub 2 or x sub 1, it does not matter. I am going to subtract them. These two lines right here mean absolute value. Absolute value means when I have these two lines, anything that's in between there, that value, that answer, will become positive. Now, why would we need that for a distance? Well, depending on how you put these, I might come out with a positive or a negative number. So distance always has to be positive. Hence the reason we have to put these absolute value symbols around it. So like distance, if P was Alta and Q is Storm Lake, if I go from P to Q is 6 miles, is Q to P negative 6 miles? No. So distance is always going to be positive. That's why we use absolute value. So if I use that little formula here rather than counting, I can say the coordinate is negative 6, the coordinate of R is negative 3. I can take negative 6, here's the formula right here, minus negative 3. Just be careful of your symbols and signs here. The symbol inside the formula is a minus, so I have negative 6 minus negative 3. Do my 2 marks here. Negative 6 plus 3 is negative 3, absolute value. The distance is 3. That's what we counted before. Just to show you it doesn't matter which order, again, these are the coordinates. So negative 3 minus negative 6, absolute value. If I take negative 3 plus 6, I get 3. Absolute value of 3 is 3. So, 2 ways. You can use the formula, and it's just a basic subtraction one, or you can count. But you probably need to know the formula just in case the numbers are kind of wacky. The midpoint of a segment is what we really had focused on in the last unit, is halfway between the endpoints of the segment. Okay? So, halfway, to find something halfway, you're going to take the average. Ooh, think about that. What's halfway between this test and that test? I would add them up and divide by 2 to get my average. Okay? Okay, if you look here, the average of the coordinates. Okay, so if this point A is at x sub 1, this point B is at x sub 2, the question is, where is the midpoint going to be at? Okay, so I can use these 2 endpoints to help me find where the middle is going to be. I'm going to take end plus end divided by 2, and that will give me the middle. Okay, and here's the little formula. X sub 1 plus x sub 2, again, it doesn't matter which order you do those, divided by 2 will give me the coordinate of the midpoint. So it would be like if it was on a number line, what would the number be? So let's use the same example here. And sometimes for midpoint, if you have some basic number line here, you can go from one end, go in one and in one, and then it's right in between those two. So you can like do just the counting method again, or we can use the formula. So end plus end, coordinate plus coordinate, so -6 plus -3, divided by 2 will tell me where this midpoint is, which coordinate is right in the middle between Q and R. So I'm going to get -9 over 2, so that's -4.5, -4.5, and that's going to be it, my midpoint. So I would encourage you to use the two formulas. That's going to be used every single time. It'll work every single time. Remember, on distance, we use the absolute value because distance always has to be positive. And on midpoint, we find the average between the two ends, added together, divided by 2. Let me know if you need some help.